Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my scorching girlfriend, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
How much? It's been a good week here. It is June 27th, 1997, and it is a hot one.
It is. It's over 100 degrees outside right now, so...
If the audio quality sounds different or weird to you, it's because we had to move our equipment to a different room, which is cooler than the room that we usually record in.
And if you hear a weird noise in the background, that's just our air conditioning unit trying to save us. Yeah,
I
pretty
don't
much.
think you can really hear it, but anyway, speaking of hot, though, what a hot episode of 90210 this was.
I wouldn't really say it was a hot episode. It was a creepy episode.
Valerie getting all violated.
You know, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, why do the writers keep changing the characters? Like, all of a sudden...
Fit whatever they want to do.
She's been a giant evil whore,
Yeah.
like, since she got on the show. And now she's all, like, virtuous and like, we're supposed to feel sorry for her and stuff.
They made up last episode, so her character is completely changed now.
They who?
Her and Tori Spelling.
Okay.
The producer's daughter. So now she's allowed to be a good character again.
Right. And okay, so she's... I guess we're starting with Valerie.
Sure.
She's in a marketing class.
Yeah. Led by fucking bro douchebag extraordinaire. Who's like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you sell some Coors Light by having some fucking hot babes sitting by a pool and playing some fucking Van Halen in the background.
Yeah, he's talking about how it's, it sells things if a girl's looking sexy and licking her lips and things. And the problem, though, is he's not wrong.
No.
Like he says, sex sells. That's true.
The reporter girl's like, you're talking about fucking misogyny and objectifying women and it's not really cool. And you're talking about it like it's cool. And he's like, well, sex sells, this is a marketing class, not an ethics class. You fucking whore. But she's right in the sense that he's speaking about it, like, gleefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's a pig. He's a giant pig. We know this.
Yeah.
As the episode goes on. So
apparently his wife's dead, which I guess justifies everything.
maybe that's a lie, too. But,
Right.
Valerie apparently was late to class and she wants to go apologize. And when she says that, because, we're familiar with Valerie, I think she's gonna try to, like, sleep with him or something. Like, she's gonna try to, like, use sex for power because that's what she does.
She's got a crush on David now, though.
Okay, so she had a crush on Brandon and she had a crush on Dylan. And, like, that didn't prevent her from using her pussy to get what she wants. Just saying.
Whatever happened to Jonesy?
Jonesy. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
She was like, you need to do jobs for me, like, in the future. She was like, yeah, I will.
That was the end of that.
She's just gone.
Maybe one day when they run out of storylines, they'll bring him back.
I miss Jonesy. Just a guy that's like, just a guy that thinks he's doing an episode of the A-Team or something like that. Just a very misplaced character and an actor that's just not familiar with the show and not doing anything like the show.
Right. So she goes to talk to the professor. And he tries, by the way, though, twice to blow her off. He really does.
He wants her to blow him off, it turns out.
So she's like, hey, I'm sorry I was late, and I really like your class. When are we going to get our midterms back? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And he invites her to a seminar that he's speaking at, which doesn't ring any danger bells immediately, but then he says...
He says it's at a fucking hotel.
Right. So, then it's like, oh, it's Valerie, so they're going to have sex. Still where my mind is, that she's going to go along with it.
And I knew, because I know the virtuousness of Valerie.
Right.
I said that she was gonna say no, that he wanted to have sex with her, and that she was going to say no, and then she was going to get a bad grade because of it.
And that is what happened.
Yeah.
She goes to the seminar. He asks if he can buy her a drink, which is really inappropriate.
And, at that point, Valerie, in real life, now, obviously, none of this is her fault. And when this actually happens to real women, it's not their fault. But that's the point where you would hope that Valerie would be like, maybe not.
Right.
You know, because, like you said, it's very inappropriate for her to be drinking at a bar alone with her professor.
But that's what happens. They have a couple drinks, and then he says, we'll be more comfortable in my room.
And she was like, ooh, no.
She's like, you have a room? She looks surprised by that. Like, he was like, yeah, it's part of the deal.
Valerie, you fucking seduced Ray by sabotaging his truck.
Right.
You don't think that he has a room at this hotel? Like, that's because they changed her character so much.
Right.
Like, I could see this happening to Donna.
Yes.
But not to...
This did happen to Donna.
This would be like I don't understand what's going on kind of thing.
Remember in Paris with the modeling thing? This is exactly like what happened to Donna. I mean...
I don't remember that. I remember that there was some modeling thing in Paris, but I didn't remember they were trying to fuck her.
Yeah, eventually, like, the guy started to get inappropriate, and then she was like, oh, no, I can't be part of this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But
anyway.
yeah, like I said, this would make sense if it was Donna's character. Valerie should understand what's going on way before this.
Yeah,
but they're changing her character so much that it just goes against what we know of her.
Yeah, she's not naive. She's not innocent. And they're never going to change my mind. So if they continue to do this to her character, it's going to just piss me off.
I mean, she's fucking Kelly Kapowski at this point.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, she pulled out her innocent, wide-eyed Kelly Kapowski face today, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She said, I'm only interested in your class. I'm not interested in you.
Yeah, and she said it in a really mean tone, and I was like, ooh, that was a little harsh.
It was a little harsh on the fucking sexual harasser.
But, I mean, I guess, well, because at first I'm thinking maybe he misunderstood her, too. You know? Like, I could see how he could be not a sexual, what's the word I'm searching for?
Pariah?
Yeah, whatever. Predator.
Okay.
He could have just thought, hey, she's a pretty girl, and she looks up to me, and she seems like she really likes me.
Look down. Oh, jeez. Yeah, good.
What?
I know a way she could look up at me.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then realize that he was wrong, and then feel bad, but that's not what happens.
No.
He doesn't feel bad.
No, because he's a serial assaulter.
Yeah. So he gives her
First, she comes back from this whatever encounter with him, and Steve and Brandon and I think Claire, and what's her name,
Keats.
the reporter.
The last name is Keats. I don't remember her first name.
All right. John Keats is sitting there, and they're having dinner at the house. She walks in, and they had said previously she's not going to be there. She was at some conference with a professor. She's like, wow, she's really interested in that professor. Keats is like suspicious, right?
Right.
So she walks in, and they're like, oh, we didn't think you'd be home. And she's like, I'm not hungry, whatever. She storms off. It's clear that she's upset. Brandon walks up to her, just like, hey, what's going on, Val? And she says, do I look particularly trashy to you today, Brandon? And he's like, what? She's like, my dress, does it look trashy? No. Do I have on my forehead, written across my forehead, a slut or easy or something like that? And he's like, what's this all about? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. What are you talking about? How do you broach the subject in that way?
Right.
And then be like, oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You obviously do want to talk about it.
But she doesn't right away talk about it.
No, she storms off.
And then when she ends up getting a bad grade on her paper, as you predicted.
She got a D, which is, ironic because he wanted to give her a D, just not on her paper.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow. Anyway. She says that he said that her paper was, wonderful and amazing and all this stuff when he was trying to sleep with her.
When his penis was talking.
Right. And now it's a D. Right. So she tells Keats?
Well, she talks to... No, she does, because Keats is in the class.
Yeah, and Donna and David.
David. David and Keats.
David and Keats. Okay, no Donna yet.
Donna might have been there.
I don't know. Sure. But she does tell them that, like, oh, you have to report it. You have to report it. And she's like, I don't want to report it because I don't want to be investigated. I don't want people to talk about me.
She's afraid of being Anita Hild.
She's afraid that they're going to say she's a slut.
Right. Which,
She is.
Wow. Okay. So, public service. Valerie's a fictional character that apparently Carol hates for some reason. This does happen to real people in real life. And when it does, the reaction shouldn't be, oh, they are whores. Because this is a professor that has power over her. There's a lot of sexual power over people in this episode. But, he clearly is a monster and is in the wrong here. So to say, like, I just don't want the wrong message to get sent.
I'm not saying that it's her fault or that this happened because she's a slut. And she's actually trying to not be a slut in this episode. Uh-huh. But I'm just saying that her concern is valid because there's a lot of dirt they could dig up, which is what she says. She says, like, to David, she's like, I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of.
She did come clean with everyone except David, I guess, in the last time. Well, she came clean with all the girls.
Yeah. And he said, like, I don't care, and I'm going to support you whether you report him or not or whatever.
That's what David said. David is being very stand by your woman.
And then she says to him, will you be okay if I want to take things slow? Yeah. That's the part I really, really have a problem with.
Because you want David to get fucked?
No, I don't care. He can go have crabs with Ariel again for all I care. No, but she would never do that. Why? They don't explain why all of a sudden she wants to be, like,
she's trying to change.
A good girl.
She's trying to change.
But why?
Because the writers want her to.
See, because nothing happened to invoke this.
Well, yeah. I'm reliving the stuff about her dad, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, well, okay, I guess when we think about it that way, maybe reliving the stuff about her dad's suicide, maybe she was working through it with, sex before, and now she's done with that part.
Maybe she finally found a nice guy.
Yeah.
She doesn't laugh when he takes his clothes off. Well, that we know of. He hasn't actually taken his clothes off with her yet.
Right. I don't think he's taken his clothes off with, Claire and Ariel.
Yeah. He's had sex.
Anyway, so that's where we're at with her. No, the story finishes.
Yeah.
Something happens.
As often on 90210, something does happen. That's correct.
Well, no, the Keats lady, she wants her to, like, give a statement, and she won't. But she has a whole list of other women. Well, and where did she get this list?
Valerie talks to the ethics department.
Yeah.
And she's like, the ethics lady's basically like you, where she's like, well, you probably are a whore, so we're going to investigate you. And she's like, forget it, and she leaves. Crying, by the way, vulnerable, hurt.
He's trying to make me feel bad. If you're just joining us, then maybe, you'll think I'm a terrible person. But if you've been listening for a while, you know what Valerie's about.
Anyway. Yeah, you know what Valerie's about. Tight sweaters. That's what she stands for. So she leaves there, and Keats is basically like, hey, I'm sorry that, I like insinuated anything or whatever. He's totally in the wrong. He's an asshole. She's totally on her side. So she starts investigating. I don't know where she got the names from. I assumed that she was calling ex-female students of his.
Oh, maybe.
And, like Brandon said, about 1 a.m., a bunch of people started coming out of the woodwork of former female students of his that he also fucking propositioned and everything.
Yeah, so it turns out Valerie's not alone. And then she's also so, like, mad at this dude because she went and tried to talk to him and make peace, and, he was just a complete ass.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you went to the ethics department because Keats called, and then they called him. And she's like, I didn't, report you or whatever. And he says, yeah, well, you're fucking going down for this. You don't think they're going to make you feel you're scared of being, like, outed as a whore? Guess what you're going to be.
Yeah.
And he's all very, like, he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to be humiliated by the time this is over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he makes her feel like absolute shit. But that's when she finds out that there's all these other women.
Well, she goes to the thing, and she's like, I want to go on record with the story or whatever. And she's like, oh, yeah, you got company. And it's, like, literally dozens of women.
And so he's going to be fired. Like, the next day, he's going to be gone. So there's nothing for her to worry about.
Yeah.
She's not even going to be investigated.
He won't be on the episode again.
Yeah.
It'll be over.
So, I mean, I guess that's the thing they're trying to convey is, like, it's okay. She stood up for herself and it worked out. I mean, what happens in reality
is Anita Hill.
Yeah.
Is you get fucking, embarrassed and shit like that. And horribly unqualified people like Clarence Thomas get to be Supreme Court justices for the rest of their fucking life.
Yep.
And sorry to talk about politics, everybody. Oh, Clarence Thomas is a joke. Anyway, so there are other storylines going on.
There's a kind of a parallel storyline going on because we have Kelly's artist boyfriend.
Right. Who's also in a relationship where sex and power are being manipulated.
Yeah, so that lady who I swear to God is his mother, like she looks like his mother. It's so gross and creepy.
I thought she was, well, I guess she's an art dealer.
Yeah.
She's his patron.
Yeah, but like they have some kind of arrangement, it sounds like 4 years, where like he sleeps with her and he's basically at her beck and call.
Yeah.
And then she funds his art projects and like lets him just do art and pays for his life.
She funds his lifestyle, pays for his life. Yeah. Lets him, and then he sells the art and presumably they split the money from that.
And she's getting jealous about Kelly.
Yeah, because he's getting serious with Cal.
So, yeah, she's like, you better be careful. You don't want to get feelings or,
Yeah, don't want to catch a case of feelings.
Right.
Colin.
could cause some problems.
Right.
And
got a collection of knives.
She basically says like I can disappear or something. My money can disappear or something like that. Yeah. She threatens him.
Oh yeah.
And so we're feeling slightly sorry for Colin.
I guess I still don't really care.
I don't like him either. And Kelly shows up to pick him up for his art opening, and this bitch is there who answers the door, and she's like, "Oh, he's in the shower."
Yeah. And
Kelly is just looking at her like, what is your problem? And she tells Kelly what's up.
It's like, haven't you figured it out yet?
Yeah. Like make her feel stupid, too. So Kelly takes off.
I get to fuck him whenever I want.
Yeah.
She says,
you can borrow him, but I own him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So when he finally finds out that the reason Kelly is not at his art opening is because of this bitch. Because she tells him that.
Yeah.
Because he's distracted. He's trying to find out where Kelly is. He's calling her. So she's like, oh, let me just tell you she's not coming.
The LA Times is there.
Yeah.
Everyone else is there, too, besides David and Valerie. But
Kelly.
Donna's there in some sort of outfit.
Some sort of outfit. And then it backfires on her, though, because he's just like, well, fuck that. I'm leaving. I'm going to go deal with Kelly.
And he goes and deals with Kelly. And
Kelly tells him, like, I would have more respect for you if you were like sweeping or something like that.
Sweeping up
Yeah.
as a job.
Yeah.
She's like, you're a whore.
She fucking called him a whore.
Which is correct.
I mean, yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. And she's like, you need to get a job. And he's like, I will. She's like, I'll believe it when I see it. And then he starts sweeping her porch. Like, that's not what she fucking meant, you idiot.
Like I said, Kelly's inner dialogue is, I'm not paying you for that.
He's so stupid. What does he think? Does he really think that's making some kind of point? And she looked amused. She looked like that had some sort of effect.
Right.
What? Whatever.
Do you look amused if I swept up for you?
I would look appreciative. So I don't like him. Like you said, I would like him to just leave. Ray says goodbye to Donna in this episode and supposedly has left.
Raymond's like, let me make you a coffee and I'll put whipped cream on top of it.
Yeah, he made her fancy coffee.
What kind of coffee is whipped cream on the top?
I don't know, but anything with whipped cream on the coffee top is delicious.
Yeah.
I like whipped cream.
I got some whipped cream for you.
But she flat out calls him out. Oh, and she also tells Kelly in this episode what had happened to her, that she was in an abusive relationship and everything.
Yeah.
And she tells Ray, she's like, this is an abusive relationship, and I don't want to do it anymore.
I've been reading all about it and everything.
And when you're nice to me, that's the honeymoon period, because he brought up, like, how they had that nice summer. I told you that. Like,
and he goes, I don't know why you gotta hang on to the past. I haven't done anything in a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't beaten you in a while.
Yeah, and cheated on her, by the way.
Yeah.
Cheated and beat her.
Yeah.
So, that supposedly he's gone. I hope it's true.
Yeah, well, she's like, how's the album coming? He's like, oh, it's fine. She's like, yeah, that's not what your record producer says. Says you missed the last 3 days or whatever.
Yeah, because you were sick. He's like,
I write my songs for you, Donna. And then she comes up with the absolute cold line. Yeah, you didn't write any songs about throwing me down the stairs.
That was awesome. Yeah, so I think she's really done with him.
Well, yeah. They're done, for sure. I just hope he's gone from the show.
I can't imagine that he's not. Like, he didn't really fit anywhere else.
That's true.
So.
God, remember so long ago when we first met him when he was a construction worker?
Yeah, and he seemed nice.
Getting interviewed by Donna.
Yeah, Donna and Kelly. Mm-hmm. Because he was supposed to represent, like, the working man or whatever. And he's like, you think I'm stupid, don't you? Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's not stupid. He's just an asshole.
Well, hopefully he's gone. Hey, his mom got a nice cruise out of the whole deal. So.
There you go. Something.
Oh, but yeah, so that's their storyline. Brandon and Keith's, their storylines heavily and kind of tied up into the whole Valerie storyline.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's Steve and Claire. Mm-hmm. Steve also got a hotel room in this episode.
Yes.
Well, he was going to get it for him and Claire to have sex after this art opening. But Claire says, let me get the room because first times are important to me. Mm-hmm. And earlier he had been saying, she seems like the kind of girl that likes mirrors above the bed.
I believe Brandon said that.
No, he said it, and then Brandon just agreed. And she's like, I don't want any mirrors on the ceiling or anything. So it's like you can see right there, they're kind of in a different frame of mind.
Well, see, like the writers like to change people's characters.
Because she does like handcuffs.
She was the wild child that liked handcuffs. She handcuffed David, too.
Yeah.
David and Brandon herself.
Yeah.
But with David and Brandon, she used handcuffs both those times. And was like the wild child and everything. And when they brought her back, it's like, this is a totally different character.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely. So she wanted it to be romantic and also she had gotten...
Walking around in her see-through shirt. Did you notice that?
No.
She had a shimmery kind of like see-through shirt. You could see she was wearing a dark bra. I don't know what color it was, but not good with colors. But you could see the bra underneath.
You really like to see these see-through shirts, don't you? It's the second time you've mentioned these see-through shirts.
When was
I don't even notice them. I don't know. Another episode you brought it up.
Well, it's eye-catching.
I guess
That's why it's a fashion statement, right?
Right. But Steve goes
The
to
thing
check.
she was wearing at the art opening, by the way, reminds me of something like you own.
Oh, I don't remember what it was.
No?
What did it look like?
I don't know. It was like a dress type thing.
I do own dress type things. So Steve went to check out this room and finds a bag hidden behind the towels that's full of sexual props, including handcuffs and negligee. And I would not have assumed that she put it there.
She said there's a surprise in the room for you.
But before she said that, he found it and thought that it was hers.
Oh, yeah.
And it was hidden.
Because he thinks she's a freak.
Yeah.
That's what Brandon's told him.
Yeah. And David probably, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because he's been researching her. He's like, we can watch Moonstruck. And she's like, oh, my favorite movie. We can order brownies and, I can't remember the other thing.
Yeah.
An Italian dish. It's like, I filled the room with lilies or whatever. My favorite flower, So, like, he's been researching her. And the she's a whore part, comes from Brandon, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it goes awry because she's excited about him, coming up with all these details. Everything seems fine. Then he pulls out the sex bag, and she's
By
like,
the way, the surprise was that he got an A on his test.
and that seems messed up that she got a hold of his test. That seems not right.
She said she talked to the professor. I guess she fucked the professor
Right?
in order to get the test results.
So she's not sleeping with Steve because, she thinks that he's an asshole now because he thought she might use these handcuffs. He was being a dick about it.
Yeah.
And then he brought up that he's been told that she likes to use handcuffs.
Right.
Which was not a smart thing to say.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want you to tell her how you heard about how she is in bed from other dudes.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
awful.
No good. But it's understandable that he thought that stuff was hers.
Yeah.
But he could have handled it with a lot more grace.
Well, yeah, and
instead he was an idiot like Steve is.
He was very lecherous. He got this goofy look on his face, and
there's one character that hasn't really changed.
Right. As soon as she put up any kind of resistance to hey, that's not mine, he should have backed off of it.
Right. He should have been like, oh fuck, I wonder who left this shit in here.
Yeah. Not oh, what do you mean it's not yours?
Let's take a look at this stuff. Isn't this hilarious? The stuff they left.
Right. Yeah, he could have handled it way better. And then maybe after they did their initial whatever romantic sex, maybe she would have been like, hey, let's check out those handcuffs. Because she is that kind of girl, but she didn't want to be that kind of girl the first time.
Right. And the thing is is that really that exciting, handcuffs?
No. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think that would be good. Mm-mm.
You don't think so? Huh? You had a very strong, visceral reaction to a hypothetical situation, Carol.
Yeah, I can see a lot of ways that could go wrong. That's
Sure.
all I'm saying. Yeah.
Could be a real Gerald's Game situation.
Exactly. Oh, that's a creepy, creepy book.
But yeah, I've never really been into it. So tying up and all that stuff.
I mean, bondage can be okay under the right circumstances.
Oh,
I would think, but not with handcuffs.
You would think, okay. Good to know.
Anyway, I think that was all we had to say about the episode.
Well, that's all we have to say about them.
Yeah.
We've still got Dylan.
Oh my god! I was going to completely gloss over Dylan. Oh my gosh!
No, we still got Dylan. I mean, Noxema Girl wants to gloss over Dylan. I'll tell you. Tell you how much, but
Yeah. So this is very Romeo and Juliet. She's got.
Yeah. So what's his name is what the both
nurse.
the nurse and I guess the nurse.
Yeah.
Bruno the nurse.
He's delivering their love notes. So Dylan sees him in the coffee area of the quad or whatever,
You know,
and
because how he watches Antonia
she's in class. He's having coffee. So
with whipped cream on it.
what is it with you in this whipped cream coffee? I think
Who
it's,
puts whipped cream on coffee?
I think it sounds delicious. I'm going to put whipped cream in coffee.
Put whipped cream on you.
Okay. Anyway, Dylan brings a note to him for Tony, and he's like, no, I'm not going to give it to her. He's like, but you care about her as much as I do, and this will make her feel better, so give it to her.
Yeah.
And so the note's basically saying, I really care about you, and, what we have is more important than my vendetta against your dad, whatever.
It was a very simple note.
Yeah.
And she looked all like, oh my God.
He just wanted her to know it was real, that it wasn't like all pretend, because that would be a terrible thing for her to think. I agree. Like, she needs to know that. But then she decides, well, if it was real, then I want to be with him still. So she sends a note with Bruno to him to meet her in the library. It looks like it is a full front and back letter, but it literally just says, meet me in the library. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, because it's all, like I said, it's like you said, it's a full front and back letter, and it's just her voiceover, meet me at the library. And you just exclaim, that's on the front and back? And I said, yeah, she just scrawled it with crayon, just right. Giant. Dylan, meet me.
So
There's also Noxema product information on it as well.
Right. So they're back together and kissy and happy and holding hands.
Fucking making out in the library like a couple of animals.
Yeah. And they walk out of the library just as her dad's pulling up. Bruno tries so hard to turn him around. Be like, oh, I don't want you to miss your plane. Oh, you want to go back.
Town to murder somebody else's dad in a different city.
Right. But he sees them together, and he tells her, get in the car.
Mm-hmm. And she says, no, I don't want to get in the car.
Dylan says, too, I love your daughter. And he's like, I'm sure you do.
He's basically like, look, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones.
Mm.
But he's like, if you stay with him, then you're no longer my daughter or whatever.
Yep. He said, don't bother coming home.
Mm-hmm.
She stays with him. So now he has inherited another teenage runway. This one's just legal.
Yeah.
So she's...
Yeah. And hopefully he wasn't having sex with the other one.
Brenda?
Oh, is Brenda the teenage one? Oh, I see what you're saying. I gotcha. I thought you were talking about his sister.
Oh, God. No, she's not a teenager either.
She is now. She's got to be now.
Probably. But no, Brenda ran away from home, too.
Yeah,
and stayed with him.
I remember.
So she was crying in bed when he woke up in the morning.
He was like, I hope this isn't about yesterday. And she goes, no, it's just about the sex. I thought it would be better.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's all going to fall apart now that she has to live there because she has nowhere else to go?
I can't imagine them staying together.
Yeah.
Her dad killed his dad.
Well, and she's a rich princess type girl who has had everything handed to her whole life. Although he's rich too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have hired help rich, but he's rich too.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. She misses her daddy though.
Yeah, apparently.
And her mom must be dead.
Yeah.
So that's got to be rough.
Died in a car bomb. But yeah, that's pretty much all that happens in the episode.
Yep. So I'm thinking...
What was it called again?
Oh, I don't remember.
Violated.
Okay. Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of thinking maybe we should try to do a commentary one time.
Yeah, I think it's fun to make comments at the show. The problem is that you'd have to watch it along with us.
Yes, you'd have to go out and buy the tapes
for it to really make sense, because we can't play the audio because then that's illegal.
Right. Yeah,
so
that might be complicated. We'll see.
We'll see.
But in the meantime, you can...
LateFee1994 at AOL.com if you want to hear us do commentary on an episode while we're watching it.
Yep. And you can check out our website at www.rogerlatefee.com and tell your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.